What's up, you guys? It's Zamora, and tonight I am really excited to be bringing you this movie review because I just came back from watching Logan, and oh my goodness, I have so much to say about it, and there is no way that I can possibly make a review without saying any spoilers. So this is officially your spoiler warning. So if you do mind spoilers, if you haven't seen this movie and you want to go into it with a clean mind, which I totally recommend, then yeah, that's your warning. I'm going to include spoilers here. Okay, let's dive into it. So first and foremost, this movie was inevitably great, fantastic, spectacular, mind-blowing, and I guess my favorite thing of the whole movie had to be the consistency of the tone. It's like I felt like I was present in the movie myself. Like, I have known these characters for a long time, Professor X and Wolverine, and I've known about these characters since my childhood. And of course, my childhood means that they too were in a younger stage in their lives, and the world as they knew it was different. So to see them now in this stage, so many years later, you actually feel their sadness, their depression, the toll that aging and the physical consequences that accompany it, and the mental draining. All of that is so very well portrayed in this movie that it made it so captivating for me and so intriguing for me, because it felt like something that we can all relate to. You know, we will eventually get to that stage in life, where we're like, what am I doing here? What's my purpose? Can I just go, because I feel like I've accomplished everything, or I have lost so much that I have lost interest in life, And oh my goodness, like the most shocking part for me was seeing just how vulnerable my favorite characters were, like Professor X and Wolverine. And I call them favorites because they are so important and so influential, and you cannot have X-Men without them, in a sense. So especially Professor X, and at the same time, seeing them in the stage, it was shocking for me, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm excited because this is like their last chapter, so let's dive into it. When it came to the effects of the movie itself, spectacular. Like, I could buy everything that I was seeing. I gotta say, the thing that stood out to me the most was the effect of whenever Professor X would have his seizures. It's like the camera would start like shaking and whatever, and you would have like this really like tone, like you have, imagine that you have like a device inserted into your ear that's just vibrating violently, like that type of pitch, and it would drive everybody insane and knock everybody out. But Wolverine, of course, he has like a better tolerance of it, and X-23 was kind of like swimming her way, crawling her way through it, but it gets tough, and you feel that stress, the stress that people are feeling from that moment of Charles just losing his mind. Then I just loved that. Like, those scenes, I think there's two sequences like that. It gets pretty intense. And then, oh my goodness, the little girl, she is spectacular. I just cannot see how that performance could have been delivered any better. Like, she's just a little girl, distraught. She's finally seeing the light of day and meeting animals and people and all that. And my favorite part had to be whenever she finally talked for the first time, and then Wolverine was like, what the fuck, you can actually talk, why haven't you talked? And then she starts muttering, unless you know Spanish you wouldn't know this, but what she was saying was stuff along the lines of, oh, because you're always so mean to me, you're so rough with me, you're always yelling at me, you're always pushing me. that something like that is what I remember hearing. And Logan immediately like cuts her off, so I didn't catch the rest, but I thought it was hilarious because I'm like, yeah, dude, she's just a child after all. I mean, she's lethal, but she's still a child, be kind to her or whatever. But another thing that I enjoyed was how we finally got the Wolverine presence that we deserved. And it's because this movie was finally rated R. Wolverine has always needed to be in a rated R movie because he's just a bloody character. That's his nature. He goes nuts and, shit gets destroyed and people get sliced and stuff like that. So I don't know why it took all these years for us to finally, I know why. It's all business and you gotta make it kids friendly so that, you get more money and whatever, which sucks. But at the same time, we at least have this movie. It really, something that I kept in the back of my mind was how this is Hugh Jackman's last movie. And now we found out that Patrick Stewart is also stepping down. I want to say this movie was a great conclusion for these two gentlemen because they were just great. They stood out like that. It's something that no matter how many reviews you watch or how many people tell you about it, you have to see it for yourself for you to get your own opinion and your own feel for it, and then a lot of what we're saying is going to make sense or better sense. And then finally, another thing that I have to just mention is I loved the pacing of the movie, although there was a part in which I felt it was slowing down a bit, which was when they were in the house with that other family. But I also understand why they needed that little break. But another thing was the X-24, the younger version of Wolverine, like a Wolverine copy, but who completely is feral and has no reason whatsoever. That was intense. Like the way he shows up at that, little home that they're staying at, and suddenly he stabs Charles. For some reason, I thought that was our Logan. I thought that somehow he got cleaned up and he decided to just turn away. And then my boyfriend had a good point. He said that he thought it was a dream sequence. For some reason, I didn't even feel that at first. I just totally thought that somehow Logan had just cleaned himself up and we were getting ready to find out about it soon. But yeah, you guys, this is just a movie that you absolutely must see for yourself so that you can truly just grasp it and appreciate it, and it was just great. The music also stood out to me. The background music, you guys know, I mess with music a lot, so I will pay attention to stuff like that. I loved every single sound that I heard. And well, you guys, that is all that I have for you, really, because I don't want for this review to be like me giving you a synopsis of the movie. It's not the same. I just want you to know that I loved everything that I saw, and I just wanted to give examples as to what stood out to me that makes me love this film so much. And I also want to congratulate Hugh Jackman especially, because I feel like this is a gift for the portion of humanity who is a fan of the X-Men, who are fanatics of the X-Men and Wolverine and everything, because this is truly the movie that we have been waiting for. And perhaps I could mention things that I couldn't enjoy, no, not enjoy, but that I would have issues with, but unfortunately I wouldn't know how to voice them because I'm really not that familiar with the whole story as it is. Like, I know I have seen the X-Men films, but it doesn't mean that I have all the pieces put together, and I have never read a comic. So I wouldn't know any flaws in the movie really. I can just tell you about performance, the effects, and the tone, which is what I did. So I hope that you guys are satisfied with that. Well, you guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Have you seen this movie? Do you intend to see it? Do you want my recommendation? Of course, I want you to see it. And I would also love it if you let me know what you think. And all I have to say is much respect to everybody involved in this project, because it was amazing. And alright, you guys, I shall see you soon.